Hey everybody, let's make a yeast starter, huh? Yeah, that's great. No, I made all these videos. I thought I've never made one on making a yeast starter, so I thought I have a cameraman here tonight. He was here 8 years ago when I brewed my first batch of beer, and he's back for a taste some more beer. So I got my water in my flask here. You don't have to have a flask like this. You just need something like a growler or even just another, old like apple juice jar or anything like that. But I got my water, I measured it out first. I'm going to want to end up with about 2 pints, so I have a little bit more than that right now. And the next thing to do is get it boiling. Okay, now of course you have to sanitize everything. I like Star San. I think that's the best sanitizer that I've tried. It's a no rinse sanitizer. But the great thing is, as you can see, I have it already made up in this carboy. Is you can reuse it, and you can keep reusing it until it either loses its acidity or else until it just gets really dirty. So it actually becomes more economical that way. So I'm gonna sanitize this, and I'll sanitize the funnel and everything else that'll touch the wort. For my yeast starters, well, generally you want to shoot for a gravity of around 1030 to 1040. So you don't want it to be super strong because you want it to be lower gravity so the yeast can just ferment all the sugars and not have to be too stressed doing it. So that amounts to about like 1 cup of DME, dry malt extract, in 2 to 3 pints. You can take a gravity reading. I'm going to stir this in here. You can take a gravity reading if you like when you're done, and kind of see where you're at, and then the next time you do it, and I probably should have a bigger pot. The next time you do it, you may use a little bit more, a little bit less, but for me, I've been doing these so many times that it's about a cup in about 2 to 3 pints, and that gets the gravity I want. And then we're going to boil it for 15 minutes. I'm also going to sanitize the top of the yeast pack because I'm going to cut that later. I'm going to use this scissors, so I'm going to sanitize that also. Anything that's going to touch the yeast or the wort, I like to sanitize. We boiled the wort for 15 minutes, and now I have it in the ice bath. I took a gravity reading with the refractometer, and it was 1036, so it was just about what we were talking about in that range, but you don't have to take a reading if you just use, small amount of DME and the right amount of water. But now we've just got to cool it down. Okay, I've cooled this wort down in this ice bath. I haven't taken the temperature, but I know that it's plenty cool enough. So I have a feeling I maybe actually made a little bit too much today, but pour it in here. We'll see how much we have. I need a little bit over a liter. That's about right. There's a liter right there. If you want to get a shot of that, you want to walk in. And actually up to like where it says 1250, that's kind of about where I like to shoot for, so that's okay. So the next thing is you can keep it rolling here. We're live. We're action scene. News reporting. I've got my sanitized scissors and my Pilsner Urquell lager yeast because we're going to make a hellet. And that's just going to go right in there like that. So again, you don't need to have this type of a flask. I just have this because I use a stir plate, but you don't need to. You can make a yeast starter with just a growler or any other type of a glass jug. Basically, you're making a mini batch of beer, you're adding your yeast, and you're giving your yeast a couple of days to ferment all of this sugar that you put in there from the dry malt extract, and they'll increase in quantity. And you'll have more yeast to pitch on brew day. So in a second I'm going to shake this up, and then that's about it. Here's my magnetic stir bar that's been sanitized. It's going to go down into the old flask. You set it on here like this, and I've got some foil that just came off of the wrapper, and that's all you need for this. Now again, one last time, this may or may not work actually. It may take me a couple times, but you don't need to have a stir plate. You just need a growler or something like that is more than adequate to do a yeast starter. But what this will do is this bar will spin, and then it keeps the wort circulating, it keeps it aerated the whole time, and it keeps the yeast from settling. But otherwise, that's making a yeast starter. That's all you have to do. One final visual, like I said, normally you could just do it in a growler like this, put an airlock on there, stopper, and have all of this kind of stuff just in there, and it's definitely going to help your brewing. And that's all there is to it, so make one up. Okay, this is just a little PS to show you that this thing is spinning now. You can't really tell at first always, but it's spinning. I'll leave it like this for a couple days and then put it in the fridge before brew day, so yeast will settle to the bottom, and I can decant the wort off the top if I want. But not a necessary step, but stir plates are pretty easy to build, and they do help your beer a little bit. Otherwise, you can keep it simple and just make a yeast starter and a growler, and it definitely will help your beer out.